I'm John, and you are watching List on Demand. And here, 10 things you didn't know about Ghostbuster movie. After sitting in development hell for many years, the new Ghostbusters movie finally hit theaters in July of 2016. We've gathered up 10 things about the movie you may not know. When Paul Feig's Ghostbusters was first announced, it wasn't met with the warmest reception. Fans who felt nostalgia for the original films in the franchise weren't keen on the idea of a reboot, and the trailers did little to change their minds. A lot of people had condemned the movie before it had ever even been released. So, love it or hate it, let's go through and examine 10 things about the movie that you probably didn't know. Number 10. A post-credits scene references the original film. A lot of big-budget franchise films these days like to hint at potential sequels and special scenes hidden after the credits at the end of the movie. The Ghostbusters reboot would be no different, featuring a scene that will only make sense to those who've seen the original movies in the franchise. Number 9. Melissa McCarthy was supposed to play Patty Tolan. One of the brightest spots about the new Ghostbusters was Leslie Jones in the role of Patty Tolan. While I think all 4 actresses are good, I could have taken or left the other ones, but I'd say Jones was just perfect for this role. But it originally was going to go to one of her co-stars before Paul Feig changed his mind. Number 8. Emma Stone turned down a lead role in the film. Ghostbusters is a big-name franchise that a lot of performers would sell their souls to appear in, but that list doesn't include Zombieland and Birdman actress Emma Stone. Apparently, the plan wasn't always for the main cast to feature only Saturday Night Live alumni, as Stone claims to have been offered a role to appear in the Ghostbusters reboot, but she turned it down. Number 7. Rick Moranis refuses to come back for a cameo. If you're familiar with the original Ghostbusters movies, and you saw the reboot, you probably geeked out more than once when seeing special cameos from most of the 80s film's main cast. We'll touch on some of these a bit more later, but first let's look at the one performer from the originals that completely refused to appear in the movie, even for a bit part that would have taken one day of shooting. Number 6. The film won't be available in China. International ticket sales can be very helpful when it comes to maximizing profits for production studios, when it comes to releasing big-budget movies. That should be especially true for Ghostbusters, which failed to earn its budget back domestically through ticket sales. But, unfortunately, they'll lose a good chunk of that market by not being able to release the film in China. Number 5. The trailer is the most disliked in YouTube history. Have you ever heard that phrase about not judging a book by its cover? The equivalent when it comes to movies is that you shouldn't judge a film by its trailer. But that's what happened with Ghostbusters on a very extreme level, as when Sony first released the trailer for the film, the majority of the audience immediately decided they weren't going to see it. Number 4. It was going to be a sequel instead of a reboot. Some of the actors involved, along with millions of franchise fans, had been longing for a third Ghostbusters movie for years. Star Dan Aykroyd, in particular, was heavily pushing for Ghostbusters 3 to come out since the 90s, coming up with an idea he was calling Ghostbusters 3 Hellbent. This planned story would have featured the Ghostbusters winding up in hell, or some kind of similar alternate dimension. Number 3. Harold Ramis does have a cameo in the film. While the decision had been made to turn Ghostbusters 3 into a reboot instead of a sequel, that didn't have to mean that the original crew we all still loved could no longer be involved. All four of the actors to play Ghostbusters in the original films wound up appearing in the reboot, which not only includes Bill Murray even after refusing for so many years, but Harold Ramis, who passed away in 2014. Number 2. Harold Ramis' son, Daniel, also has a cameo. So a bronze bust of Harold Ramis can be seen in Ghostbusters, but that's not the only way the Ramis family appeared in the new movie. Harold's son, Daniel Ramis, can also be seen in the movie, during the scene when the new Ghostbusters are called to a concert hall to capture an apparition during a heavy metal concert. Number 1. The fate of Bill Murray's character. We've talked about how getting Bill Murray to even take a look at the script has always been the biggest challenge when it came to creating a new Ghostbusters movie. It's funny that after so much time spent avoiding it, Murray finally agreed to take part, and probably had the most fleshed out role of all of the cameos from the original film's performers. Enjoy over list. Be sure to click that subscribe button in the top right hand corner, so you don't miss out new ones every Monday to Friday. Share the list to your friends, and if you wanted the more lists, check out these 2 videos here or just head our channel.